Hi everyone. In the last class, we have seen the concept of uh, what is an exception. So, an exception is simply an unexpected error. It is because of several reasons. Among those, one reason is because of invalid input. So, I have given the clear-cut explanation regarding this exception. Okay. Then we have explained also why we need to go for exception handling. And what is the need of exception handling? What is exception handling? All these we have discussed. What is the need of exception handling? The need is to define or to produce to produce user understandable error messages instead of system defined error messages. To print user understandable error messages, we are going for exception handling. Okay, this exception are of two types. One is predefined exceptions, another type is user defined exceptions. Again, these predefined exceptions are of two types: asynchronous exceptions, another type is synchronous exceptions, right? So the superclass for all the asynchronous exceptions are like we have discussed java dot long dot error class is the superclass for asynchronous exception. What about the superclass for synchronous exceptions? Java dot long dot exception, right? Again, these synchronous exception are classified in two types. One is checked exceptions, another type is unchecked exceptions. Unchecked. So these checked exceptions are mainly occurred during a compile time. Unchecked exceptions are mainly occurred during runtime. I have given various examples also regarding these generalized examples and the programming examples also. Okay. Then we have also seen what is the difference between an error and an exception, right? So an error means simply it is caused not because of programming mistake, right? It is not caused by because of programming mistake. So it is generally because of lack of system errors, sorry, lack of system resources. Okay, so as it is raised because of system resources errors, can it be recoverable? No, it is non-recoverable. So if you want to make it recoverable, we need to contact the system admin, definitely, right? They only change the memory, all this. So that is because of lack of system resources, these errors will happen. What about exceptions? These are simply an unexpected or unwanted errors which are raised during the execution of the program, right? So generally these are all caused because of mistakes done by programmers. Can we able to recover? Yes, we can able to recover by writing proper logic. By writing proper logic. Okay, then and also we have seen whenever an exception is raised, whenever an exception is raised, automatically JVM will create exception object. JVM will create exception object. Am I right or not? So before going to create an exception object, it is going to do some process. That process I have explained through diagram also. Right? So this is the process when JVM is going to create exception object. So this is the way JVM is going to create exception object, and it is going to make that reference to the catch block. I mean, whenever an exception is raised, whenever exception is raised, automatically it will call the corresponding catch block. Am I right or not? So that is where we have discussed try, catch, and finally blocks. Right? So in try block, we are going to write the complete risky code, meaning that whatever the code that you are thinking that there is a chance of raising exceptions, that code you are going to write in try block. In catch block, you are going to handle the exceptions which are going to rise in the try block. So whenever JVM creates an exception object, and it automatically thrown that object to the corresponding catch block. If there is no corresponding catch block, it will raise system defined error messages. And final block is meant for which is going to execute irrespective of exception raised or not. If exception is raised, there is no problem. Final block will be executed. If exception is not raised, there is no problem. Final block is going to execute, right? So this flow also I have explained clearly through the concept of this diagram. Okay, fine. See here, while while writing the catch block, you can able to write the messages. You can able to write the messages. What are these messages? You can able to write the user defined messages. Or you can able to print system defined error messages system defined error messages through this catch block, through the object of exception object reference. Okay, so to print system defined error messages, we can follow three ways. That also we have discussed. One is like java dot long dot exception is a class. Through this class I can able to uh, print the what kind of exception is going to write in the catch block. Okay, and there is a one more method I have clearly explained with along the example execution also, print trace method and get message method. This is also discussed. Okay, what is the main difference between these three? See, get message method is going to print only the nature of message. It won't print any other thing except the nature of message. But whereas coming to exception class, it is going to print nature of message nature of message along with the name of exception. The name of exception. See guys, what is the nature of message? What is the name of the exception? Say like we have like various kind of exceptions, right? One is arithmetic exception. So name of the exception is arithmetic exception. What about the nature of the message? Simply I have shown the example like division by 0. So this is name of the message, nature of the message. This is name of the exception. Okay. So print trace method having one advantage that along with the nature of the message, along with name of the exception, it is going to print the line number where it is going to, in which line it is going to the exception is raised. Okay, fine. So these are all available in which class? Java.lang throwable package. Throwable class. Java.lang throwable is the super class for all the classes. What are all those classes? Exception class, error class. For all these kind of classes, throwable. For throwable class, what is the super class? Object. Object class is the super class. Okay, fine. So this is all what we have discussed in the previous class. Okay, fine. So now let me explain an example so that you will get one much more clarity regarding this one. So I will explain one more example. Later we'll go for further discussion like the next kind of keywords, right? Hmm. Next keywords throw and throws keywords. Okay. First let me explain this example. Okay, what I am going to do is I'm having uh, so I would like to mainly show two kinds of exceptions. One is arithmetic exceptions. Another one is input mismatch exception. These two kinds of exceptions I want to show in this example. Okay, so what is arithmetic exception? Whenever there is a problem related to any kind of arithmetic operation, then it is going to raise an exception called arithmetic exception. General kind of arithmetic exception is division by zero. So so what I'm going to do is I am going to read two values, a and b. Then I'm going to make perform division operation. While performing division operation, I am going to get generally division by zero exception. So what I'm going to do? I am going to make this in the try block, right? So in try block, what you are going to place, whatever the exception, whatever the statement that you are thinking that it is going to raise an exception, those are all I am going to place in the try block. Okay. So input mismatch exception meaning that uh, for example, let me take, you have declared a variable as int x. You have declared a variable as int x. When you are trying to store some value, which is a float value, then it is going to produce an kind of exception called input mismatch exception. Okay, like this, various kind of exceptions are there. Not only arithmetic exception, input mismatch exception, all this will have like stack overflow exception, something like array index out of bounds exception, number format exception, null pointer exception, what are all these? These are all the various kind of classes which are already defined by the Java developers. Okay, so the general principle of how to write a class name. So I don't need to specifically mention which is capital letter here, which is small letter here. Okay, fine. So stack overflow exception you are going to get whenever you are going to call some methods again and again. Obviously, the memory will be full. You are going to get stack overflow exception. Array index out of bounds exception. You are trying to access the data which is not available, which you are not created any memory. Out of memory location accessing data, if you are trying to access, you will get array index out of bounds exception. Like this, we'll have various kind of exception. Okay, like null pointer exception. Like null pointer exception means, like for example, let me have a variable, string variable s, which contains the value null. I'm trying to find the length of this variable, this variable. It will provide an exception, null pointer exception, null pointer exception. So here my concentration is on input mismatch exception. So whenever this kind of exception is occurred, like for this statement, meaning that what are the statement that we have written for this statement, what we need to do? I mean, whenever we are trying to read int x equal to, for example, I am trying to read from utility package scanner class, next int. If the user has given some kind of input like 11.2, it is going to write the exception. So this statement also I need to place in the try block. And whatever the statement that you have written in the try block, you have to write at least one catch block. So here I'm going to take two catch blocks. One is meant for the division error, another is meant for input mismatch exception. So I am going to take two catch block 1 and catch block 2. Okay, let me see. Uh, Let me explain this example first along with execution. Okay, fine. So what my requirement is, uh, I want to read some data, right? Scanner sc equal to new scanner of, you need to pass system dot in for the reason system dot in, right? So whenever I am going to use the scanner class is not inherently implicitly inherited. So I need to import from utility package, import java dot util dot scanner class, Okay, fine. Then so guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some data sc dot next int uh, division equal to some 535 by 535 by division, right? I'm going to write that same exam. That same exam I'm going to divide. I'm going to divide. Then I'm going to print system dot out dot println of value after division is plus plus. Okay, guys, just let me execute this one first. Java space except dot Java. Is there any problem with this one? Okay, nothing. There is no comparison error. Java space except. So we didn't return any message there. So I'm trying to write some value like 5 enter. Value after division is 107. Okay, fine. So what I will do is going to type system dot ln of so no errors. So enter value to perform division. I'm going to make once again 15. Value after division is 35. So now what I will do is I will make intentionally to make this program as error. I will run enter value to perform division. I am going to make this as 0. What happened here? Immediately java.lang dot arithmetic exception colon division by 0 at except main dot java.lang dot except java dot 10. So this error put is right. So there is an exception raised at which line? 10th line. There is exception correct 10th line. So then what I will do is I'm going to make this in try block. Make this in try block, right? Then immediately I'm going to once if I write uh, a try block, there should be at least one catch block. So what kind of exception it is going to raise? Arithmetic exception. I'm going to type the exception. So I will produce a message like x value should be uh, positive value, be non-zero value, non-zero value. Now let's see. Compile successfully. I'm going to run. I will press enter 0. X value should be non-zero value. It has shown or not? Yes. Now what I will do is I will make it intentionally. I'm going to enter. See now observe cls Java space except I'm going to enter the value as 5. Value after division is 107. I will enter value 0. X value should be non-zero value. Now there is one more error. That is like, for example, I'm going to enter 5.5. What happened? Except in thread main java.util.input mismatch exception it is raised. Am I right or not? So there is one more kind of exception at line number 9. So this kind of exception also you need to handle, right? As it is going to write generating exception. So what I will do is I'm going to make that statement also in a try block. Sorry, I'm going to make this in also try block, right? So for this exception also you need to write manually because this is another kind of exception, right? This is input mismatch exception. In the previous exception that is arithmetic exception. So for all kind of exception, if you want to write the generalized thing, then I will go for writing exception only, exception class. So now I will write one more type of exception. Input mismatch exception. Like I see, those are all the references, ma. Okay, na. See, whenever an exception rise in the try block, that JVM is going to create object for the corresponding exception. Then it is going to uh, forward it to the corresponding catch block. That's it. Out dot println of I'm going to add uh, input should be integer value. Integer value. Okay, fine. Now let me compile. Uh, okay, so input mismatch exception class cannot find the symbol. Yeah, yeah, yes. See, observe guys here. I remove this one first. Control X. I have saved and I tried to compile. Successfully compiled. Run 5.5. Observe in which package this class is available. Java.util package. Java.util package. So you need to import that class first. Import that class first. So what I will do is, so util package, instead of writing scanner class directly, I will make it as star, so that every class will be inherited into that this class except class. Now just compile. Okay, fine. Now if I write 5.5, again you will get error because we didn't handle it. Now I will place control yes. Now it's good. The value I'm trying to write 5.5. Input should be an integer value, right? Even though you entered anything, right? Like 535.535. Input should be integer value only. Okay, like this you can handle the errors to the concept of try catch blocks. Okay, if write final block, irrespective of the type of exception, whether exception is raised or whether exception is not raised, it is going to execute always. See guys, so here uh, you have written two separate catch blocks, two separate catch blocks. If you want to handle, you can handle in the same catch block only. Let me write simple R. So maybe this kind of version it is allowing or not. Exactly in this version. Java 8 above 8.0 it is going to allow. X value should be non-zero, and or instead of saying that X value should be integer value only. That's it. Integer value. Common, right? Same. Let me write. Okay, fine. So it is going to produce error expected. 1 minute. Some kind of error. So R is 5 symbol. Okay, fine. So in another, maybe this in this system, the version is I think 7 point or something. So in 8.0 version onwards, this you can combine multiple exceptions in a single class block. So it is allowed. Okay, ma'am. Fine. Now let me explain the concepts of the next keywords throw and throws keywords. These are very important, but generally we won't use at every situation. Okay, fine. See, first let me explain the keyword throw keyword. Okay, throw generally meaning what? Pushing from one side to another side. Like for example, there is a person and there is some kind of ball. there is another person. I'm trying to push my ball from one side to another side. He can push the same ball to other side, like that. So I mean, in terms of keyword, if I say I am going to, this person is going to throw ball to that person. That's it. That's right. Throwing, pushing from one side to another side. Okay. Generally, what is happening up to now means whenever whenever an exception is raised, whenever an exception is raised in a particular try block, in a try block, what is happening? JVM will invoke JVM will invoke how implicitly it will invoke. It will create object for that one. It will create object for the corresponding exception implicitly, and automatically it will create that reference to the corresponding catch block. That reference to the corresponding catch block, common or not. Yes. Now the use of throw keyword is if you want to see if you want to throw an exception object explicitly to catch block, then I will go for throw keyword. So simply to throw an exception object to the catch block explicitly, then we'll go for throw keyword. So generally up to now whatever thing that we are trying to write the code, automatically exception raised, whenever exception is raised, JVM create object, then that the corresponding reference also thrown to the directly catch block by implicit way, meaning that without involving human. Now whenever you use the keyword throw, you are saying to the compiler that I want to explicitly throw my object to the corresponding catch block. That is the meaning. See, so the main advantage of this one is when we are using this throw keyword means whenever you are working with user defined exceptions, whenever you are working with user defined exceptions, there you can observe the main advantage of throw keyword. Okay, fine. Anyway, see, if I have some method, if I have some class called accept class, it can be public static void main string aux. If I write like system.out.println of 10 by 0, what is happening here? It is going to write some kind of exception. It is going to write some kind of exception, that is arithmetic exception. Okay, fine. So here this arithmetic exception is not understood by the user directly. What we are going to do, we are trying to create user understandable exception by using try catch block, meaning that we can able to write our own statements. See, observe. What I will do is I'm going to read some data. I'm going to have some error. That's simple. To make some by 35 by 0. I'm intentionally making one second comments. Okay, I made it intentional. If I execute, compile successfully. If I run, what happening? It is going to produce. Guys, observe. I have some intention here to explain what I need to explain. Exception thread main java.lang arithmetic expression slash division by 0. Right. This is the kind of exception it is going to raise. Right. Whenever whenever you are going to give some kind of value like 1 minute. I'm going to give x value I'm going to make uncomment everything. Now, if I execute 0, it is going to produce use a defined exception. X value should be integer value. X value should be integer value. Okay, fine. Now, what I am going to do is, if I am going to use the keyword, if I am going to use the keyword throw keyword, so the main advantage is you are going to uh, create object explicitly, and you are going to call the corresponding catch block. How we are going to do that? You are going to run it through the keyword throw keyword, right? So the general syntax is throw keyword followed by how to create object exception object, how to create object by using new keyword, followed by, guys, already I have explained, if you are coming across the word exception, is all the exceptions are what? All the exceptions are classes, followed by class, what is the meaning of this one? So from here to here I am going to create object. I'm going to create object. What about this entire thing? I am going to throw this reference to corresponding catch block. Throw this reference to corresponding catch block, meaning that I am handovering my reference to the corresponding catch block. That's it. Simply observe. What I'm going to do is I'm going to simply make like throw. I'm going to write arithmetic exception of I'm going to write JK division by 0. JK division by 0. See guys, here my interest is, I don't want to show example. My interest is I want to write. Whenever you write the keyword like arithmetic exception, what is the meaning of this one? It is going to call the corresponding arithmetic exception class. It is going to call the corresponding arithmetic exception. For this, it is going to create an object. Then that corresponding class, it is going to execute. Here I'm going to write the keyword to create object. Now execute. You will understand the difference. What happened? Exception in trade main java.language arithmetic exception JK division by 0 at except main dot exception dot java something, right? So observe, in the previous example it is going to show normal its own corresponding message, the system defined message like division by 0, system defined message division by 0, and later if you want to specifically mention for the user, you write x value should be integer value. Later you modified some part of the predefined code, that is we got JK division by 0. So generally this through keyword used that while working with the concept of user defined exception sum. So there we will see some more examples. Okay, fine. So similarly, this throw keyword is not only meant for purely predefined classes. You can go for like this. We'll take one example. I'm going to take some class test. I'm going to take public static void main string aux. I'm going to create object for generally predefined classes. Generally predefined classes, because all the exceptions they have mentioned, they have implemented clearly in our Java language. I'm going to write. If you want to use your own exception, so this should be also a class, right? This should be a class. So that is why I'm going to write here our own class name. If you want to write, you can write our own class name. Our own class name. Observe here, if I write our own class name, what will happen? Throw, I'm going to write like X. Write like this X. What happened? Incompatibility except cannot be converted to throwable. So here, what is the meaning of what is the meaning here? The meaning is I am trying to create object for the except class. I'm trying to create object for the except class, and I am trying to throw that object to the corresponding catch block. Corresponding catch block. Is there any corresponding catch block for the except class? See, for arithmetic class there is a corresponding catch block. For interpreted exception there is a corresponding class block. For input mismatch exception there is a corresponding catch block. But what about this new except? New except is a corresponding class which is defined by us, which is user defined class. So that is the reason it is going to produce the error except cannot be converted to throwable. But if you want to make it convert, you can able to convert, see, by inheriting that classes. Extends, I'm going to use exception. I'm going to use exception. See why I have written here this one. See, observe, throwable is a superclass for all classes. In that, exception and error are two subclasses. For exception, you will have some subclasses. For this, we have written one class which is inheriting all these features. So whatever the features are there in these classes, those features are also inherited to the class except or not. Yes, then it is going to call the corresponding thing bottom to top. Bottom to top. Now execute. But what happened? Unreported exception except must be caught or declared to be thrown. Yes. Here, observe guys what I said in the previous class. What I said in the previous class is 1 minute. Let me show the chart. Right. So here exception. Here exception is what kind of exception? Is it a checked or unchecked exception? What about runtime exception? Is it unchecked or checked? Error is a kind of unchecked exception. Runtime exception is also called an unchecked exception. What about this exception? Exception is a checked exception. Exception is a checked exception. Why checked exception? Because it contains a combination of both unchecked as well as checked exceptions. So if a class contains at least one checked exception, then that class becomes checked exception. So it is a checked exception. So that is the reason during the compile time itself, here it is going to rise an error. It's going to rise an error. So instead of that, what we are going to write is I'm going to take runtime exception. Runtime exception. I'm going to take see it is rectified or not. So you know the difference. Checked means it is going to check at compile time. Unchecked means it's going to check at only runtime purely. Right? As I have written here on runtime exception, it is going to check only during at runtime. That's it. What happened? That is the reason it is going to rise exception parent main except at except.main except line number 7. So what is my main intention is here is I'm trying to throw some exception to some other predefined class. That's it. So this is mainly used at uh, while working with the concept of user-defined package, user-defined exceptions. So this is all about the throw keyword. So the thing is, if you want to throw an exception object which you have created explicitly to corresponding catch block, will use the keyword throw keyword. Throw keyword. That's it. Okay. So next one, throws keyword. Don't worry, you will get very good idea once I will complete this concept also regarding throw keyword also. Okay, fine. So generally what is happening is whenever in a program if there are any kind of checked exceptions, you need to compulsory handle all those exceptions or not. Some kind of checked exceptions are there in a program. All these checked exceptions you need to handle manually by using try catch block or by using some throw keyword or irrespective of whatever the way you can want, you can handle all those. But the thing is, my requirement is I don't want to handle using try catch block. I don't want to write the code. I don't want to throw it. Then I'll go for the keyword cross keyword. So meaning that what I'm going to do is, instead of handling it manually by using try catch block, what I will do is I will simply hand over my responsibility to the some other function, my responsibility to the some other class. What is that some other class? Some other predefined classes. Meaning that throws keyword are generally useful for to hand over to hand over the responsibilities of exception handler to the caller. What is caller here? Which are already defined in the various kind of classes like arithmetic exception, number format exception, array index out of bound exception, all those. See, I don't want to handle the exception. I just uh, uh, see compiler, if there is any kind of exception in my program, try to handle on your own. That kind of statement you can define to the compiler by using the keyword throws keyword. Okay, now. Right. See, generally, so at what situation you are going to use this throws keyword? Whenever you are trying to work with the keyword concept of checked exception, then you need to compulsory use the throws keyword. See, it's not compulsory. You can handle it with the try catch also. What I'm going to do is I will take some example which is related to the checked exceptions. I'm going to use one statement here. One is thread dot sleep of 1000, negative 1000. So what this statement means is uh, I am going to tell to the compiler that please pass the execution of the current thread per 1000 milliseconds. For my interest is for, see, I want to pause the execution of current thread per 1000 milliseconds. That is my interest. That is my interest of this statement. But instead of this, what I am going to do is I am going to write like thread dot sleep of minus 1000. Then what it is going to do? It is going to write some kind of exception. Guys, generally, whenever you are working with the concept of threads, you need to handle these all manually because these are all going to raise checked exceptions. Let me check once. Class except what I'm going to do is I'm going to write thread dot sleep of try to compile. It is going to raise checked exception. Array, you are going to make some kind of mistake in future, so please it must and should be caught. That is the error it is going to show. So what kind of exception is rising? It is rising interrupted exception. It is writing interrupted exception. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply make use of throws interrupted interrupted. So what my interest is, see guys, if I want to make for this thread dot sleep, I can able to use the try catch block. So through the try catch block, I can able to rectify, or else I can use the keyword throws interrupt exception. Meaning that I'm just handovering it to the compiler to the which exception class, interrupt exception class. So there is no error. There is no error. No, there is no error. It is handled. If I pass negative 1000, it works fine. It will produce error. What is that error? Timeout value is negative. Guys, if I pass negative 1000 also without throwing the keyword, now also will get an error. Am I right or not? Yes. This is way you need to handle. Okay. For simple, let me explain one more example so that you will get very good clarity. I mean, here why I explain this example means, so whenever you are working with the checked exceptions, you must should handle that with the help of throws keyword. That is what my interest in here. Okay, fine. Now let me take one more example. In this example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one kind of function. The function name is calculate function, which is going to calculate, division of two numbers like 10 by 0. So which is going to generate some kind of exception. It's going to generate some kind of exception, and it is going to generate some kind of exception. That exception I am going to handle it through generally by using try catch block. Instead of that, what I am going to do is I am going to use throws keyword. Okay, let me explain that same concept here. Class except what I'm going to do is I'm going to have one method, calculate method. I'm calling this method. So from which block I'm calling from static block. So for simplicity, I'm taking one method which is outside as static, void calculate. So rules you know already, right? I'm going to write system dot. I can use scanner class. I don't want waste time. Println of inside calculate. In that, I want to show that we are in calculate method inside. I'm going to write something like 10 by 0. 10 by 0. What I'm doing, I call the main method. Main method starts execution. Let me compile Java space except dot Java space compile successfully. If I run Java space except, what happened? Main method starts execution completed, and then inside calculate method it is called mean. It is called calculate method. Then it is trying to raise an exception at line number 7. Then because of line number 7, it is raising an exception at line number 30. It is raising an exception at line number 30. So what I can do is I can able to handle this exception in two ways. One is I can able to handle at line number 7, or I can able to handle at line number 13. First, let me show to handle at line number 13. I can handle at line number 30. So for the, if I write at least one catch try block, I need to handle at least one arithmetic. Arithmetic error. Arithmetic error. Let's check what happened. Okay, I need to make reference, right? What happened? Inside calculate method, instead of having an system error message, I got directly arithmetic error. Am I right or not? Yes. So now, so at line number the handle, instead of that, I can handle at this location directly. Right? Now also got the same error, arithmetic error. Okay, so now instead of this, by using the keywords like try catch, what I am going to do is I am going to throw, I'm going to use the keyword throws, meaning that I want to throw some error uh, to tell the compiler that I don't handle the error, I don't handle the exception, I don't handle the exception which is raised in my location. Right, understood? I don't handle this, the exception which is raised in my method. Please try to hand over it to the my super class, some other class which I defined. So I am going to handle it to arithmetic exception class. That's it. Observe. Now let me execute this. I just hand over that. What is that? If I hand out it, what is the error you will get? You will get the same exception, right? What happened? Exception grade, Java.long arithmetic division, right? So this is a kind of what exception? System defined error message. System defined error message. See, observe. Once again, I'm saying, what is the meaning of this one? So at line number 7, I got arithmetic exception. So there is a chance of occurring arithmetic exception at line number 7. So in this block, I am going to get arithmetic exception error. So I'm telling to the compiler that, so if there is exception raised in this calculate block, please try to throw it into the arithmetic exception class, so that that arithmetic exception class will internally will take care of that. That's it. So because of that reason, as because of that, as the arithmetic exception has taken care, it has produced its own error. It has produced its own error. Am I right or not? Yes. That is a way you can handle this error sum. So simply, so okay, fine. So instead of that, you can do it some other way. You can do it in some other way. I'm trying to throw that error in some other way. Okay, you can throw that error there itself, or you can throw. Okay, fine. It's enough for you. Hmm. So observe one thing once again. I will tell you this slide. What I did is I have written some method. I have written some method like static void calculate method. I have written some statements here. If you are thinking that if there exists some kind of statement which is going to raise an exception, it's going to raise an exception, then you are trying to write by handling by using try catch blocks, by using try catch blocks. But instead of that, instead of writing all this, what you can tell to the compiler that I don't want to handle any kind of exception which is raised by this statement. Please hand over my responsibilities. Please hand over the program responsibility to the caller. Who is that caller? Whichever the class that we are calling, for that class I'm going to write. I'm going to call the arithmetic exception. If you want to write, you can write the exception also. So whichever the thing you need, whichever the function you are going to call, that you can write. So calculate method must be caught. Unreported exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. That's it. So that errors we are going to get through the concept of see by using the throws keyword. Why? Oh, in the starting you didn't get this error. I think so. So calculate method is going to get error. So you need to handle it specifically. Catch of exception error. That's it. Simple to overcome that error. So it's good. Right? You got inside calculate method. You got error. That's it. Okay. See, observe one thing. Here, my intention is, as I have explained everything, try to understood. You didn't get any clarity about why we are using throws keywords, sir. Ah, Just the thing is, uh, we are trying to, instead of handling ourselves, we are trying to handling my responsibility to the caller, to the caller, meaning that for another method, for another class, I'm handovering. Okay, and this throws keyword you are going to use specifically for the need of checked exceptions only, but not for unchecked exceptions. There is no use of using the throws keyword for unchecked exceptions. Okay, fine. So guys, if you are writing some kind of exception like here, arithmetic exceptions, arithmetic exception, what kind of error you observed here? You observed here exception main Java.lang arithmetic exception division by zero error only you got. See uh, how to make. See here this error. What is the error that you have shown by this throws keyword? This error, this error is got as same system error message, and also it means that it is an abnormal termination, and also it means that it is an abnormal termination, meaning that because of using the keyword throws keyword, we cannot able to prevent from abnormal termination, prevent from abnormal termination. We are just trying to make convenience to the compiler, that's it, trying to make convenience to the compiler, and meaning that we are trying to convince the compiler and we are trying to skip the compilation process. In the compilation process errors we are trying to skip, that's it. That is the reason we are trying to saying that it is meant for specific use of checked exceptions. So checked exceptions are going to check by the compiler during the compilation time. If you want to skip all these checked exceptions during the compile time, we are going to use the keyword throws keyword, that's it. Okay, ma'am. Fine. See, observe one thing. Whatever the things that we have discussed up to now, I have discussed related to throw and throws keywords. Throw and throws. So let me conclude by comparing with small differences. See, generally, when we are going to use for the throw keyword, if you want to create an exception object explicitly, you are going to create an object of exception explicitly, and you are trying to call the catchback, corresponding catchback. Then we'll go for using the keyword throw keyword, meaning that use it to throw an exception explicitly. Okay. What about throws keyword? It is used to hand over the exception. It is used to hand over the exception to another one. Hand over the exception to another one. Okay, fine. See, you are going to use this throw keyword in the examples. We have seen its usage is where, which location we have used. We are using this at inside the method. We are going to use the keyword inside the method. Whereas coming to the throws keyword, you are going to use along with the method signature. Try to compare with the previous examples. Okay, fine. Like the structure, if you observe, I'm going to use some method. I mean, I have explained the static method, static void main method. I'm going to use the keyword throw, followed by one to create object new, followed by arithmetic exception, followed by some kind of custom message. So generally meant for use to work with user defined exceptions. Okay, this is the syntax of creating using of throw keyword. What about here throws keyword? I am going to use the same method, but I am going to use it with the method signature. Throws arithmetic exception. If you want to use, you can write multiple exceptions also. There is no problem at all. There is no problem at all. So this throw keyword, what you can understood by simply seeing this statement, I can able to create one object. So meaning that I can able to I can able to I can able to work with only single exception. Whereas coming to throws keyword, I can able to handle multiple exceptions. Okay, so we can't throw multiple exceptions using throw keyword. You can't show multiple exceptions with three keyword. Whereas coming to throws keyword, we can throw multiple exceptions to whom? Multiple exceptions to the caller. Multiple exceptions to the caller we can do. That's it. So these are some of the differences between throw and throw keyword. I hope you understood it very clearly. Okay, fine. So okay, there is some time. Okay, if you want, let me take one more example. Let me take, so for example, I am having some package whose package name is like uh, something like P. Package name is P, which contains one class whose class name is ex dot classify. Ex dot classify. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write some Java file whose name is ex dot java. That's it. So in that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to handle with the help of throws keyword. With the help of throws keyword. Okay. So if I'm trying to use the throws keyword, trying to use the keyword throws keyword, there is no necessary to write try and catch blocks. There is no necessity to write try and catch block. But the thing is, if you are not writing try and catch block, what will happen is it will show only system error messages. It will show only system error message. That is what I have explained right in the previous. See this one. It is exception in Java 7, Java 13, right? This is the system error message is going to throw. So throws keyword is meant for only throw an exception to the caller. That's it. We can't able to write user defined message. If you want to write the user defined message, you must and should have to use the keyword try and catch block. So in this example, what I'm going to do is I'm trying to use the throws keyword along with try and catch block, so that my error, whatever the error that we are getting, that I can able to produce, convert it into user defined, user understandable errors. Understandable errors. That is what I want. So in this ex.java class, what I'm going to do is I'm going to define one method called div method, where I'm going to perform division of two numbers n1 and n2. Obviously, whenever you are going to perform division, you are going to get some kind of exception, like arithmetic exception. And there is a chance of getting, if I use a scanner class. If I use a scanner class, I'm trying to read some data, what will happen if I am going to, okay, if I'm trying to use a scanner class, you will get some kind of exception, like input mismatch exception. Will get input mismatch exception. Am I right or not? Yes. So what I'm going to do is, instead of using the scanner class here, I will use that the thing in another method which is in main method. In main method, what I'm going to do is, through the parameters, I'm going to read the two values s1 and s2, and I'm going to pass those two values to the division method. I'm going to pass those two values to the division method. Here I'm going to perform division, so I'm going to get arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception. Here, what are the values that I am passing here? What are the values that I am passing here? If those values are in the form of strings, see, observe, here I am trying to read some values through the concept of arguments, right? As I'm going to read from arguments, I need to convert them into explicitly, but I'm not converting, I'm directly passing it to here. So here, if I need to explicitly convert by using the methods, parsing methods. If the input is in the form of strings, again you are going to get some kind of error. That kind of exceptions will get as number format exception. Number format exception. So here this method ex.java method is going to raise two exceptions. One is arithmetic exception, another one is number format exception. Those two exceptions I can able to throw to the caller function. What is that caller function? The division function. For the division function, I am going to throw. That's it. Now, division method is a response. Division method, if it wants to handle it, it can handle. Or if it want to produce system error message, it can produce system error message. If it wants to generate user-defined message, it can generate user-defined message. That's it. Okay. Now, my interest is I want to produce user-defined message. Then what I will do? I can use the try-catch block. So with this example, you can understood that throws keyword doesn't meant for to define to produce user understandable messages, but it just simply to throw the system error messages to throw some to call some caller. That's it. That's it. Okay, fine. Now let me explain. Let me execute the same example with the help of editor. What I'm going to do is okay. Let me have this code. I'm going to leave this itself. I'm going to create one package P. Let me check first this folder. See, there is no P package. There is no P package, so I'm going to create package P. I need to make this class as public class. I'm going to take ex class. I'm going to save ex dot java. Ex.java. In this method, I'm going to write division method public void division method understood clearly here. What my point is, I've taken two methods and I'm trying to pass two strings s1 and s2 from the main method. Why? Because whenever we are trying to access from main method arguments, instead I will write the main method also. I'm trying to take class, for example, this is what example pro example control C, control S, control V dot Java. Okay. So this throw example, what I'm going to do is I'm having one main method public static void main of string args. Guys, can you write string of args only? No, can I write k, right? Yes, I can write. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the main method. I'm going to do is I'm going to read two values from the user through command and arguments. So that is the reason I'm going to write k of g. String s2 equal to k of 1. K of 1. Guys, observe here. Whenever if I write like something like I passed only two parameters, or else let me take. Now my interest is I want to pass these two values s1 and s2 to which method? Ex class of division method. So that is the reason I am trying to access parameters as strings s1 and s2. Now what I need to do? I need to convert them explicitly, right? Int n1 equal to I'm going to use wrapper classes integer dot parse int of what are those values? S1. Int n2 equal to integer dot parse int of s2. Yes, I got. Then as I got two values, I'm going to perform division n1 by n2, and then I'm going to print the values there itself. out of println, division of two values is plus. Here, what I can do is I can store it in another variable like n3 plus n3 plus n3. Okay, fine. Guys, what kind of exceptions you can think here in these two statements? You can think that we will get number conversion exception is problem. Number conversion exception meaning that if I pass some value which may produce some error, that is that exception we call it as number format. Whenever number format exception, you need to raise, you need to handle it manually. Similarly, in the eighth line, you will get what kind of exception? In the eighth line, you will get the exception called arithmetic exception. Arithmetic. So because of that reason, you can handle them by using try catch block here itself. So I will write here, try to, just for the sake of understandability, I am writing. Try, I can write. Then immediately I can write catch block. I can write catch block. I can do like this manually. Instead of that, what I will do, my interest is I want to show through the keyword, throws keyword, right? So that is the reason I'm writing separately. So what I will do, I'm going to write throws. What kind of exceptions? If this section, I'm telling to the compiler that if arithmetic exception is occurred, I don't want to handle. Please call to the caller as arithmetic exception. That's it. Arithmetic exception. One more exception is number format exception. Number format exception. That's it. So this is a simple one class. So what I will do is I'm going to compile this one. Save this. Yes, I have saved it. Uh, I'm going to clear the screen. 1 minute. Yes, guys, observe. Uh, if I'm trying to compile this, compilation is successful, but it won't run. You know, right? As there is no main method. Java space x dot Java, right? Compile successful. If I run, you will get error, right? That you know. Yes. Now what I will do is, guys, I forget it to run. What is the way to run when you are working with the concept of packages? Is there any package P is created now? Observe. No, didn't create it. The procedure to create package is you need to do some more process, right? Java C space. I want to create a folder defined by using -d. In which location I want to create? In the current location. Then I need to use ex.java. That's it. I hope you understood. So with this statement, it has created a folder called P folder. That's it. Fine. It is completed successfully. Now this throw example, this one. Here I am trying to read two values from the command line arguments. Now what I am going to do is, right, as I am going to work with the concept of packages, first, so what I am going to do is I am going to call which method? Division method of which class? Ex class. Division method of which class? Ex class. So Ex class is available in which package? P package. Ex class is available in which package? P package. So I need to import that class specifically, right? So first, so out of current package means we need to import p dot ex. So I have imported the class. So if I import the class, I'm going to create object for that one ex equal to new ex. I create object for that. Guys, if I didn't import, what will happen? It is going to produce an error like class not found error. Ex. So through that object, I'm going to call the division method by passing s1 comma s2. S1 comma s2. Now try to observe, I try to execute, right? It is not, I'm going to execute Java space, Java C space. So example dot compile successfully, Java space throw example. What happened? Ha ha ha. 1 minute. Right? What is the error we got? Got the error as uh, exception thread main java.lang dot array index out of bound exception 0 at throwable throw example dot main dot line number 7. What's the meaning of this one? Guys, we are trying to work with command line arguments. We are trying to work with command line arguments, meaning that I'm going to accept first parameter. This is what first parameter from command line argument. This is what second parameter from command line argument. But are we really passing anything? Are we really passing anything? There is no array. There is an array with 0 elements. There is a k array with 0 elements, but we are trying to access 2 elements, k of 0 and k of 1. That is the reason it is going to raise an exception. It is going to raise an exception. Okay, fine. So as the user is trying to produce an exception, maybe chance of exception, we need to handle it manually. Am I right or not? Otherwise, it is going to get some kind of runtime exception. So what I'm going to do is, instead of that error, let me go for executing two kind of things. One is 9. Now also you will get the same error. Array index out of like because k of 1 is not there. Now I'm trying to pass the 3. Now it will execute successfully. Division of two values is 3. Division of two values is 3. So instead of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass the second thing as 0. Now what will happen? Exception thread main java.lang arithmetic exception division by 0 p dot ex dot division of something, some error, right? Meaning that it's going to produce a division error or not. So even though you are using the keyword throws keyword, it is going to produce only system defined message. So instead of that, we can able to handle it if you want. So another thing is another kind of error. Observe. I'm going to farm Jaya. What happened here? We got exception in thread main java.lang. What kind of exception we got? Number format exception for the input string Jaya, meaning that wrapper class can't able to convert that string s2 Jaya into an integer format. So that is the reason you need to handle all this. And also as you are going to handle you are not handling here, you are trying to just call to the arithmetic exception class and number format class. It is going to produce always system defined error messages. So instead of that, what we can do is you can handle on our own by using our to display our own messages. I can use the keyword try block. So all these may produce errors, right? So that is the reason I'm going to place all these in a try block. I'm going to use catch block. Catch block meant for what? If there is any kind of arithmetic exception, I am going to handle. I'm going to handle. That's it. So whatever I can do, if you want, I can produce the same thing. Anything, any kind of error you can produce. I can print like, please don't enter 0 for denominator. Don't enter 0 for denominator. Similarly, I can write one more catch block. What kind of exception that is? Number format exception. The same reference should not be there. Something like number format exception. Please enter. Please enter integer values only. Please enter integer values only. Now I'm going to call one more exception. What is that? Array index out of bounds exception. Array. The first section, this is this one, right? I have shown all the errors, all the possible errors. Array index out of bounds exception. Pass values from command prompt. I am going to write. Please pass values from command prompt. Okay. Now I have to do clear everything. Now I'm trying to once again compile java space throw example.java. Guys, I don't want to compile ex.java because I didn't modify anything. Now I'm trying to compile java space nothing. I'm trying to execute. What happened? Please values from the pass values from the command prompt. That is what it is showing. If I pass 9 and 0, please don't enter 0 for denominator. If I pass 9 comma 3, it is showing something. Division of two values is 3. If I pass 9 comma something like, please enter integer values only, like that. So let me finally execute the successful input. Division of two values is 3, right? So this way you are going to work with the keyword throw and throws keyword sum. Okay, so throw keyword specifically meant for while working with the user defined exceptions, user defined exception, and throws keyword, if you don't want to handle by yourself, instead you can just simply hand over it to the caller, then go for throws keyword. Meaning that instead of instead of uh, stopping the execution of program at compile time itself, please can we go for up to runtime or not? So that we can do with the help of throws keyword. Okay, fine. So this is all about today's class. In the next class, we'll see the concept of user defined exception sum. Fine, thank you.